Welcome to greencardguys.tv. You need to know this. Do not give up on your legal status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our CARES team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. All right, welcome to Green Card Guys TV. I'm your host, John Ting. All right, we secure your legal status to live and work in America legally. So, look, this is a little over 60 days with the Trump administration. A little over 60 days of the Trump administration, and it feels like a year. It feels like 12 months. All right, so here's the deal. One of the reasons to stay on my channel, I'll try to be on here for at least 15 to 20 minutes. I know your time is limited, especially during the day. Y'all supposed to be working, right? If you are working from home, let us know in the comments. WFM. Is that what it is? WFM. All right. If you have a pending case, okay, you already filed your case, it's pending, you still haven't received like the decision letter, put the letter P. Okay, I'm interested, like, what status of your case is per se. Of course, some of y'all have like actively in review. I know that's very frustrating because the government's not actively reviewing your case for like 5 months. That's certainly not the case. Let's see here. All right, I see some questions here. Thanks so much. Good morning, Tony. Good to see you. Oh yeah, I think you're on the West Coast. All right. Okay, great. Pia Kara has a case on pending. So Kara's question, are marriage green card cases on hold? Okay. It is a little bit confusing, right? How they phrase things. This is actually one of the reasons to, of course, hire a lawyer because of especially how confusing the Trump administration is. Okay, if I can pull up the link, I'll share with you, at least on YouTube purposes. But here's the deal. Cases are still processing, and even if for some reason it's paused, according to the USCIS.gov page and one of our memos we received, is that they are scrutinizing it more. Okay, so that's the purpose of the pause in a sense, but that doesn't mean it's stopped. It doesn't mean it's going to be denied. And generally speaking, doesn't mean it's going to be rejected. Generally speaking, so don't give up. Okay, there's nothing you need to do right now. Okay, there's not a button you need to click to say like I want to reactivate the case. There's nothing like that. Okay, so please keep cool. I know it's not easy right now, but as far as we understand it so far, it's only been a couple of days since they put on the USCIS website and the memo. Cases will still process. They're just going to be the ones, specifically the ones that have the CHNV parole. Those will be more scrutinized. Okay. And of course, as soon as we receive more information about that, we'll absolutely share with you. If not, well, in addition to live show, of course, I'll record a video and share that with y'all. Okay. There's a lot of things going on. I mean, I had just did a mass email on Thursday, I believe, and then just like the next day, USCIS updated information related to the same situation. Okay. Okay, so all right, let me see here. Nick, pending cases take how long? Well, what kind of case do you have? I don't want to assume what kind of case, but I guess most people have a marriage case. Please type the screen if you are a first time here. Actually, if you're first time here, put a number 1 in the chat. I'm always kind of curious how many people get our channel through the feed. Okay, marriage case. So if it's a marriage case and it's what we call adjustment of status, you file 45 and I-130, among other forms, then that's generally going to be about 12 months. We've had, even during this year, but were filed last year, we've had some cases um, that were like 5 months around that time. All right, there's some newcomers here. Welcome to Green Card Guys community. Again, my name's John Ting. We're here to share insights. We, as in me, here to share insights with you. We don't gatekeep, okay? Of course, if you're going to ask about like what are all the steps, what are all the forms, or like interview questions, like that's more of a strategy session and legal representation, okay? But I can share a little bit here and there, okay? Let's see here. Otherwise, other lawyers wouldn't like me for sharing too much in that sense. And of course, the hey, what's up, the G? Good to see ya. And of course, I have to tell you, disclaimer here, that my the committee say that I have to tell you this is legal information only. This is social media, so this is entertainment purposes only. But for legal advice, you got to schedule a meeting one on one. Which on TikTok you can see that right here. Okay, let's see. Drippin' melanin. I don't know why I thought anyway, melanin. How long a U.S. citizen takes to file for a sibling, a sister? Okay, so so that takes about so the petition for a sibling. I was just talking to someone. I was no, talking to another lawyer about this too. They generally take think about for siblings. It's a default. We would say consular processing, where the case will end abroad. Okay, but it starts off as a petition that's processed with USCIS. Okay, processed with USCIS. And so that even though it's a petition, it's really to establish the prove that the family relationship is true and accurate, of course, through a birth certificate, for example, and that should take a hot second, but really it takes like several years. And that's because USCIS has no rush to make a decision, even though it shouldn't take that long, because of the what we call the priority date. And the priority date is relevant to the visa bulletin that's published by Department of State. And unfortunately, historical information here, Congress is the one that has set in law a number limitation on the number of visas per fiscal year. So it's a very frustrating thing, but the more important thing is that you understand that we generally don't file lawsuits on that. We do file lawsuits for cases that have been delayed or denied, but not for sibling cases because it's just yeah, it's a long wait time in general. Hey, Daniela, are you back or are you still in Mexico? Let's see here. But the petition, yeah, a couple years. But then here's the important thing, y'all, especially dripping melanin. Since you asked me this, you gotta take action. Just get it done, okay? File the petition at least, because there's no reason to wait. No reason to wait. Even if it takes a long time, it doesn't matter. You still gotta do it. And so some people might say, like your sibling who you could sponsor would say, "Oh, don't worry, sister. Like I'm good in my country, wherever they live, right?" And then I don't know, 5 years later, they're like, "Hey, by the way, did you file that petition?" And you're like, "God damn, I told you so." And so look, as a U.S. citizen sibling, even if your sibling in a different country says it's all good, don't worry about me, things in life change. We all know that, especially with the pandemic, right? Family dynamic might change or just whatever, the work or whatnot, they need to come to America. It's best to just have a petition on file pending with USCIS. Essentially, it considers that you get your ticket in line, which is your receipt number and priority date. All right, I'm switching between platforms. All right, Diana, your application for I-130 is being reviewed by USCIS. Can you legally change your first name in the Mexican consulate at the Mexican consulate without any problem to the process? Um, is it because of marriage? Is that why? So, I mean, you could try to mention that. We generally don't make any. I mean, you could try to ask. It certainly doesn't mean don't try, right? So you can update and mention that. Oh, because I'm married, can we have my primary name? You know your married name, right? So because if you don't do it then the next time to try to do that, um, I mean, actually for free is through the naturalization to become a U.S. citizen. That could be, if it was based on marriage, it could be 3 years from now, 4 years from now, 5 years from now. So otherwise, if you can't wait and the consulate embassy doesn't change it for you, then you have to go through I think in most states, most counties in America, you have to go to family court, I believe so, to change a name, the last name. Thank you so much for your questions. If you have filed a case, put the letter P in there on the chat, and then also if you believe your case has been delayed, put a letter D in the chat. TikTok user Life of a Prince. When did you file your case? Topaz, yes, you have to file I-130 and I-130A for marriage-based cases. For other family relationship, you don't have to file both. Taylor West. I try to pin the comments when I can. Taylor West question: is there a benefit to uploading unsolicited evidence to the portal while waiting for your AOS decision? I mean, we generally don't do that, but that doesn't mean you can't do that. Um, because for us, we file we don't file like a kitchen sink. I mean, there's some attorneys that do that. I mean, USCIS officers don't necessarily need to see like a lot of things. They do need to see a good amount of things. What we call our green card guys sufficient evidence, sufficient and relevant evidence. But if you suddenly have like 20 more photos, for example, which is quite easy, I guess, over a weekend, that no, you don't have to do that. But if you are missing some evidence that you likely thought to yourself like you should have provided initially in the initial find, then yes, upload that. Okay. But there's also no like a requirement to do so after the fact. So I guess case by case situation. Okay. So let's see here. Okay. Um Still in Mexico. Oh, okay, fly back tomorrow. Okay, Daniel. Sounds good. Wish you the best. Daniela, don't be on TikTok while you're over there. Go enjoy your time. Let's see. Exactly, Danica. Just to go ahead and file. Exactly. Okay, I see a question about hey Gust Houston, good to see you. Hello Sharon, good to see you. Kiki, what do you mean by how long a window petition takes? Oh, maybe sorry. I try to figure out what y'all type in. Widower? Is that what you mean? The I-360? That could take 6 months to a year. Depends on the status of the. Oh, I was right. Okay. My condolences to you, Kiki. Um, depends on if the status is of the deceased is a citizen or not, resident. Let's see here. You're welcome. Let's see. Thank you so much for your questions. In the meantime, because I know I can't go live that long, I do have to go to my main job, with the law firm. Being here live, I think I enjoy it. I like to share information, but please go ahead and if you're on Facebook and YouTube, subscribe down below, join the community here at Green Card Guys. There's no cost, right? This is free. If you're on TikTok, I think you can click up here or down here to click the link. So if you are interested, just to find out information, you want to verify you're eligible, look, the first thing to do, Just like y'all read Google reviews for restaurants, y'all know when your Pookie Bear asks you for where to go eat, the first thing you can do is like, what's the rating? Okay. So check us out. We have 4.999 stars. We can't please everyone. We really try. Some people might not like what I look like one day. I don't know. But we really try our best. Okay. So check it out. If you know you want to verify you're eligible, click here. Sorry for those on YouTube. You're like, what the hell am I pointing at? Right here on YouTube, TikTok, pre-qualified session with a non-attorney. We really try to save you time. Pay this amount during the live show. If you are looking for direct legal advice and you're not too sure if like you want to sign up with us, that's okay. Option number two is attorney strategy session, but that does come with three-digit fee. All right, now let me answer some questions on YouTube. Tony, isn't the disclaimer supposed to be for entertainment purpose only? Yeah, pretty much. Me being on the social media is for entertainment purpose only, but still sharing insights. Okay, so alrighty, thanks so much. Let's see. All right, I see there's a couple people on the guest list, so I'll get you in soon. I probably can let 3 people join as a guest, by the way. I should have mentioned that earlier. Whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok, you're welcome to join as a guest. Click down below, I believe, on TikTok. I mean, just answer one more question on here that's written out. Someone asked, or someone mentioned a comment, I think John King here on TikTok, like something about like why do immigration lawyers fearmonger? Look, I can't speak about other immigration lawyers. I try my best to actually be very, very diligent. And not try my best. I know I am very diligent. My team is very diligent, not to just share like, hey, thanks for the hat. Appreciate it, average person. Good to see you again. I really try my best not to just like repost videos or do stitch videos that I don't have all the facts. If I do stitch a video like that, which I don't think I have, but if I do in the future, I will share my opinion about it, professional opinion. Okay, like I know, I know there's a video out there. I don't know if it's on YouTube right now, but at least on TikTok of the auntie, and I just put in quotations because that's just I don't know I don't know the true facts, and I'm sure she's telling the truth, but that person's not a lawyer, so and she wasn't trying to be a lawyer. She was just going out there and just trying to share. I think I recall like she just got back from the airport. She just want to put out some information out there quickly, which of course lawyers I know are very diligent to be careful what we say. Of course, that's why this is for entertainment purpose only. But we definitely the ones I know don't want to fearmonger. We just share information. But I know there's a couple people out there on social media that they just share like the breaking news, but they're not even lawyers, right? So and more power to them because in the sense that I'm not maybe not power, but encouraging them to do that because if not for them, then maybe probably the media, the traditional media doesn't share it. So I mean, I think it's all about sharing information. But what we do is what I try to do my best is share some insights along with that breaking news. Okay. Sorry, one more. Then I know we have the it's Mel is on deck. Gust Houston, where you're desperate. VAWA approved in January 25th, so that's good. 45 filed at the same time. Medical sent. What like how soon will you get approved? I mean, I don't know when you filed it, but generally, it's usually 3 years. Even if it's based on U.S. citizen, usually 3 years. Oh, average pepper, not average person. Dahl, does our firm fight asylum cases? Yes, we accept limited asylum cases. We just started resuming that service, very limited, because we not everyone. Although I, of course, trust that everyone's information is factual and the truth, just based on the law, we the standard for asylum is pretty high. So we only accept limited cases. And just in general, we accept only cases that we believe we can put forth a good presentable case to be approved, of course. Okay, let's get it's Mel back on.
Hi, good day. Thank you for picking me.
Absolutely. Welcome back.
Thank you. I think we had a quick discussion the other day, like a week ago or something,
Okay. Yeah.
about my situation. So came in with Esther, overstayed due to medical reasons, and we
Mhm.
wanted to see what the options are. You suggested the H1B.
It's too late now though for that, unfortunately.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But there are also, I made some research. There are, like, in the state that I am, there
Mhm.
are some universities and companies that are exempt from the
Yeah, from the cap.
timeline, from the cap.
The
Yeah.
timeline.
But
Yeah.
I was told that once I overstay the ESTA, I am not entitled to apply for any work-based visa. And I wanted to know how true that is, because I'm very conflicted and don't know how to go forward. Right now, I'm just trying to make sure that I sort out my status.
Yeah, I mean, we generally, in this kind of situation, if it's been less than 180 days, which sounds like it since the timing that you were supposed to
Yeah,
leave.
it's almost 180 days now, though.
Yeah,
It's getting very close.
I generally recommend to leave. I don't know your reason. I know you said something about medical, but to stay here. But
I still have a NICU baby, so
that's right.
it
So
will
yeah,
be
that's
hard to
tough.
leave.
That's very
Yeah.
tough. So it's just one of those situations in law that unfortunately, like we have many clients that, say like 5 years later, 10 years later, get married to a U.S. citizen, or even a resident, and that resident becomes a citizen later. Then
Yeah.
either way you file a waiver, okay, a waiver of the unlawful presence.
Okay.
But you entered with ESTA,
Yeah.
okay. So just trying to like predict the future in a
There is
sense.
what she's done, I think, so far is applied for a medical deferred action.
Uh huh.
But I don't know, is that gonna get approved, or how long does it take? In the meantime, if I do find a different visa that could apply, can I apply for that at the same time?
Um, Hypothetically, you could apply, but because USCIS wouldn't know about your current situation, but if you apply for something now that's not related to marriage to U.S. citizen, then it's best to be done outside America because
Okay.
eventually you're going to have an issue in the future about the unlawful presence. But but yeah, just depends on who's sponsoring you essentially.
Okay.
So but yeah, in the future, you actually, if you marry U.S. again, I know that not everyone's in a marriage type situation. That's not the
Mhm.
situation right now. But in the future, if there was a situation to get married to a U.S. citizen, then that closes the what do you call?
The overstay.
Yeah, there's an automatic waiver of the overstay since you enter with
Okay.
ESTA. Okay. When I mentioned about waiver earlier, that's for people who entered without ESTA, without parole, without
Oh,
a visa.
okay.
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 So what about the medical deferred action then? Would-
I
Is
don't know about that.
You don't
We
know
don't
about it?
help with
Okay.
that. Yeah, that's more of an up in the air type of application, so we don't help with that. It's very discretionary.
Okay.
Sorry, wish I could provide more insights on that. Mhm.
That's okay. So what do you suggest I do? So for now, just wait.
That's like the $1 million question I cannot answer for you. It's-
I know, but
that's what I'm saying. On the legal side, I have to tell you have
yeah,
to leave, right?
yeah.
But you got a baby in NICU, so
Mhm.
but yeah, if you have a company that can sponsor you, and I don't know if you have a degree or not or work experience,
I have a
but
master's, yeah.
okay, great. So, like, assuming you can get sponsored, then you could get a visa to stop unlawful presence, be approved for it. But by that time, you're gonna have. You said you're already near 180 days unlawful presence. So,
Yeah.
then, in generally speaking, this is where it goes to legal advice. Like, so that's why I suggest
Oh,
if you
okay.
get a sponsor, you need a scheduled meeting. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
You're welcome. Um, yeah, it gets too not I wouldn't say too complex, but that's where some scenarios like it really dwells like really individual, personalized, and so I don't want someone else, especially on a live show, to get that information and say like, oh, that's like applicable to you also. It's really person to person and case by case. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for your questions. Let's see. Rihanna on TikTok, you're a permanent resident. You were incarcerated for 5 years, allegedly. I just say that because of social media. And after your sentence, you were sent to Louisiana. Do you mean because of the detention facility, the ICE detention facility? Um, are you still a permanent resident? Okay, I don't know what your question is, but if you're interested to see if you can renew your residency, contact my office. Okay. You're welcome, doll. So if you're thanks for the follows, thanks for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Look, my marketing team tells me that's helpful to the channel. But of course, I'm here just to share as much insights, as much insights as possible. I just did a collab video with another attorney. I try to do that and even invite attorneys to collab with us, sharing insights with y'all on a recorded basis. So if you haven't done it yet, go ahead and subscribe and follow on your respective platform. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for everyone want to join the show here. Raj channel, congrats on your 45. Congrats. Glad you got your 45 approved. Let's get okay, if you're on TikTok, I know on TikTok it's a lot easier, but I don't know who was first to be honest on TikTok. So if you can share the channel, that's more helpful to me to know who is first. Let's get Gust Houston on. Hello, Gust Houston. Gust Houston, can you hear me on TikTok? Okay, Gust Houston's not there, so I'll get the next person on. Okay, I can only be here for about 5 more minutes, so if you're on, let's stay on. Let me Dizzy Zine, I think. Dizzy Zine.
Hello,
Hi, how can I help you?
can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, thanks for adding me on. So I had a question regarding, are you familiar with the CBP1 immigrants?
Which kind? I'm sorry.
CBP1.
Yeah, people who apply for the parole, I guess. Is that what you're referring to? It's just the
Yes,
app, but
yes,
yeah.
yeah, yes, it's part of that.
Mhm.
So if someone came, they usually get an initial immigration hearing that could be scheduled for years out, possibly. So I have someone that is scheduled for 2027
Okay.
for their initial immigration hearing. However, if TPS expires in August, like would they still, I guess in a sense, be legal because their appointment with immigration is until 2027?
Well, I don't know. Do they have a parole, at least on the app, via the app, or what's
So
their
they're so they're so
situation?
they do have parole,
Okay.
but then their parole is due to expire
Yeah,
in
this week.
February of 2026. Then
Uh-huh.
TPS, it would have expired the same time as TPS. However, the immigration hearing isn't scheduled until 2027.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You did say TPS. So as long as they have TPS, well, depending on the country, TPS could be cut off, expired sooner. I know like the
Yep.
parole is expiring sooner, like April 7th, I believe, this year,
Correct.
technically,
Mhm.
even though expiration day is later. But
Yeah.
yeah, so TPS is similar to DACA. If you've heard about that, that's not legal status, but it does allow. It's kind of like I call it quasi status. It's not legal status, but it does allow the authority to work legally speaking. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, depending on the circumstances, that person could be eligible to get the case dismissed out of court, maybe not. Just I would need a lot more information. So if you're interested, if you haven't, have you or that person talked to like a strategy session consultation yet?
No, actually, I just found your page.
Oh, okay.
So,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, but whenever, of course, check our Google reviews, but schedule a session on one of our links using that if you want
Okay,
to.
will
Mhm.
do.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye
Yep.
bye. Alrighty. Well, it's good that this TikTok thing works, I guess. It's kind of interesting how the channels have reached through the years. I have to say, I think y'all know this on TikTok. It's a lot easy. It's a lot easier. I don't know the algorithm, but okay, let's see. So I know a lot of y'all have questions. Thank you so much for your trust. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. I can't I can't literally answer everyone's question. I don't know who's first anymore. I really try my best, but I have to hop off very soon. Gotta eat a little lunch and then go to the next meeting. Saru Cry. Let's see. Cray. Can you update your address even if you're in the same state, same city, but just house change? Oh, okay. You want to do change of address. So if you Google search AR11 or change of address USCIS, you should find it. Make sure you submit that online on the actual government USCIS website, which is ends in .gov. Okay. I don't know if there's private companies that do this, but you'd go straight to do that on your government website, uscis.gov. Lady Sharona Witchery. Interesting. Your green card is in renewal and I guess sounds like pending. And you've had a green card for 45 years. Congratulations. Should you get a temporary one? What do you mean? Is it so there's no like temporary one. You get the receipt notice at least. But if you're trying to travel, then you need to get a 551 stamp in your passport at the USCS field office. But I don't know if that was your actual question. Um, Humble beginning. Do you have to submit medical? You're 45. Absolutely. You still have to submit it. So some of y'all may have read about like the what's it called? The that you don't have to do the COVID vaccine, but that doesn't mean that you don't have to provide medical. Actually, there's a memo out there from a couple months ago that said you do need to send the medical results in a sealed envelope, as always, but with the package to begin with. Because look, although the processing times are are extended for the marriage AOS or AO adjustment status in general, it's still they have a memo. You want to make it easy for them. Okay, don't force them to send you RFE or maybe even a denial just because you didn't get a medical exam. So definitely get that done. Okay. Um, okay, good, Adriana. So I gotta wrap up soon. I know there's a lot of questions. I'm sorry I couldn't get to all y'all. I'll try my best to go live later today. Claire, thank you so much for a message. Yeah, they contacted you. I believe I added a video on possible options in the future. Um, but yeah, if y'all need help, you have my contact information. It's down in the link below. So thank you very much, and we'll talk to you next time. Follow for more. Bye bye.